Welcome to the Online Success Podcast with Michael Brown. Your online business success starts now.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Online Success Podcast. I'm Michael Brown. This is episode 21, and today we are going to be discussing why rushing to make money fails, okay? And it's a critical subject. It's something that most people overlook, and it's something I really want to address today. And to do that, we're going to jump right into the mailbag to get us started.
Mailbag!
So this question is not just attributed to one person. This is like a question I get, and I probably get this one every couple months or so. I'll get one or two support tickets where someone will ask me something along these lines. This is just one of my recent ones, and I'm not going to attribute one name to it. If you sent this to me, you know who you are. I still love you, and I want you to go on and make money, but I want you to take my advice that I'm going to give you today in this podcast episode. So the question goes something like this. I need to make $4,500 in 3 months. Can I do that with your program? Okay, and there have been variations of this question. I've had people ask for a lot more. I've had them, ask for $100,000 in, 3 months and things like that. Look, here's the answer, and I'm going to answer this truthfully. And you know what? Some of you out there, you might hear this and go, "Oh, you mean Michael's going to tell me it takes work to make money?" Well, anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to your face. You have to take some time to learn and do a little work to make money. So the answer to the question is, can you make $4,500 in your first 3 months doing this? Absolutely. But most people probably never will. And there are a number of reasons for that. And in this episode, that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on why you probably won't make that money in 3 months, but I'm going to share why it doesn't matter, and why if your mindset is to make X amount of dollars in X amount of time, you're probably doing this for the wrong reason. Okay, so today that is our big focus. So let's really dig in here, and let me go over some quick points about why get money quick fails, why the get money quick mindset fails. Number one, it doesn't typically exist, okay? That stuff doesn't exist. You've probably heard the crap out there, like the push button programs, or push a few buttons and watch money pour in, or in 15 clicks make X amount of dollars. And I'm sure you've probably read a lot of headlines that have been just mind-blowing, okay? So you'll probably see a lot of programs online that say or promise that you'll make all this money in X amount of time. And you need to ignore those kind of things. You need to ignore anyone that's actually promising that you'll make a penny, okay? Because it's going to take time on your part, and it's going to take actual work. And the main thing you have to understand is, while you're going through even a new program, a good one like Niche 60 by me, you still have to take the time to learn the program and then apply what I'm actually teaching in the course. And it's like anything else that you're doing where you're brand new, where you're first coming into something. It's going to take effort to learn it, and then you have to practice it. Okay, the first time you ever played a sport, think about how good you were at that sport. You probably weren't very good. Think about the first time you ever picked up a basketball or a volleyball or a football. And those are just naming some of those things. Think about just a new job in life, like if you started a new job. How long did it take you before you understood the job and were awesome at the job? Okay, it takes time, it takes effort, and it's going to take practice on your part. So ignore the get-rich-quick schemes out there. Ignore the headlines that promise that, and focus more on things that teach you the fundamentals of making money. Okay, and I'm going to dig into why that is. And it's something I like to call slow growth. Slow, steady processes lead to more wealth, and they lead to more stability. And here's why. Number one, you're going to learn the proper way. And that's critical. You need to learn how to do something. You have to know the proper steps in order to get it done. Anytime you start off with something and you start trying to take shortcuts without understanding it, that leads to failure. And the reason why is because you don't understand the process. So it's critical that you learn the proper way to make money and then learn how to do it and focus on doing it right before you even start thinking about shortcuts to lead to more income or shortcuts to lead to time savings and things of that nature. And for instance, one of those big things is outsourcing. I outsource a lot of things. I outsource a lot of writing, not in this industry where I'm teaching, but in a lot of the niche marketing industries that I am in out there. I outsource a lot of the writing because I don't have time to write for, X amount of niche markets in my own spare time. So I have people who write for me, and I simply make sure it's done correctly. But here's the thing. I know what's correct and what's not, and that's something you have to learn. So if you just started outsourcing things without knowing what was going on, well, you wouldn't know if the writers who are writing for you were writing good content for you or not, or if they were doing what you need them to do properly, because you don't know the difference, okay? You're just thinking about the short term, the shortcuts, and getting to that income goal faster, where you should be focusing on just doing it right, and then later on worrying about the shortcuts and saving all that time to increase your income at that point. So the big key to everything that you'll do is getting that knowledge. Getting that knowledge, because once you have that knowledge, you can do all of this stuff over and over again and rinse and repeat over and over again. So knowledge is the critical point here that I'm trying to make. You have to learn that knowledge, and then you apply that knowledge that you've learned, and then you're going to keep applying it. And then guess what? You get to keep learning new things and applying that new knowledge. And then you can start going, hey, this shortcut over here will work to do this, and this shortcut over here will work to do this. And once you learn those shortcuts, then you can apply those. And that's when your money starts really multiplying. But the key is, and this is one thing that I really stress to students who come in contact with me, is to just learn the proper way, make that first dollar, and once you make that first dollar, you can start growing that, okay? And it all starts from there. And I'm sure if you ask any of my students who are coming into this and they're making money, they're all going to tell you the same thing, is once you start making money, just keep reapplying what you're learning and growing in every phase that you possibly can to make more and more money. And simply stay consistent with it. Stay consistent with learning and then applying. You should be learning constantly, but you should also be applying constantly. So it's not just learning, you have to continue to do, but make sure that you do both. Okay, now I want to talk about something called a base income. And a base income is important because base income basically means that you have a steady stream of income, usually between a certain amount of money and another amount of money that is pretty consistent. So let's say you're making $1,000 to $2,000 a month, okay? Just to throw out a couple random numbers. And it can be whatever you want for a base income is up to you, okay? So if you wanted to make between $5,000 and $10,000 a month and stay consistent doing that for a while, then that would be the base income that you want to make. So basically, just a base income is a steady stream of income that doesn't really fluctuate very much and stays relatively consistent. And the purpose of this, there's a couple good purposes, but basically what this is going to do, it's going to give you stability. And that stability will help you grow. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're making $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Then you would still continue to creating posts on your website, content-filled posts, and working on traffic until you continue growing your base even more. So while you have a base, you can keep growing your income, and your base will eventually move up. So it's steady growth. So basically, once you have that base income, you continue to grow, you continue to rinse and repeat and keep growing. Now, if you don't have a base income right now, which a lot of you probably listening to me don't, because a lot of you are brand new or coming into this for the first time, you simply want to follow my training. So if you're a member of Niche 60, go through that training, keep creating content, and then start building your traffic to the website. You can do that from your social media, building links to your site or backlinks to your site, getting guest posts out there on other blogs, anything that you can do to get publicity for your site. Let me rephrase that. Any legal thing you can do to get publicity, and any good thing you can do to get publicity for your site is good, because you can keep growing your audience. And the more you grow an audience, the more base income you'll likely step up and you'll likely grow. So if you're brand new, just follow the course the way I have it designed and stick with it. And then, of course, always ask questions if you get stuck. And that's always critical, because in order to get that base income built up, sometimes you need to go in and you need to ask questions, because look, when you're learning something new, you might get to a point and say, wow, I really, I want some more elaboration on this. And you can get that from me or other members of my community. And if you're a member of my Unleashing Your Success community, which is all free, you can find me on Google+. Or you can just go to unleashingyoursuccess.com and join there, and I'll give you a link to where you can get into that free community where you can ask questions and get some advice along the way. But if you're a member of those places, they're great places to ask, because a lot of times when you ask a question, well, someone's probably already asked that question before, so you'll be able to see what has been answered before to that, or if it's something that has been asked before, it's usually something I can answer in just a few seconds. I'll pop on, answer the question, and get you an answer to what you're looking for. Okay, but the main thing is you have to build your way to that base income, and then you can continue to grow, and then you can continue to look for shortcuts, and then you can continue to grow that income. Okay, but you got to work to that level. You have to work up to that. So today, I know this presentation was not long. It wasn't meant to be long. It was one of those things I wanted to make sure to answer this question, because it's one that I feel a lot of people have out there. So I didn't want to spend too much time elaborating on this, because I don't feel that there's that need. But I feel like a lot of you had this question. It's something I wanted to address. And if you have additional questions on this, or if you have income questions at all, and you want to come over to unleashingyoursuccess.com, join the community there, and then ask me, you can do that. You can find me in Google Plus or on Facebook at Unleashing Your Success, and you can ask me those questions there as well. I also have a help and support desk, which you'll find at both of those locations as well. Excuse me, I have a slight cough there. But join one of those areas if you're not a member, or even join my Niche 60 course, which is just niche60.com, and come on board and get help that way, because that's where I give my premium help. It's where my premium students are at, and it's where you can ask questions day or night and you'll get an answer. So again, thank you for this. Make sure you're working at this. Make sure you get rid of that get-rich-quick mindset and start focusing on the fundamentals. The fundamentals are what will push you to building that base income. From that base income, you can grow your income, and then you simply rinse and repeat and continue to grow your income. But you need to learn the fundamentals, and you need to really focus on building your business that way. And without those fundamentals, you can't build that base income, because, like I said early on, get-rich schemes do not exist. Ignore people that try to tell you that you're going to get rich overnight or in a month or a week or a year. You've got to build to that, and you need help while you're growing towards that. So I'm Michael Brown. I'll see you over at unleashingyoursuccess.com. I really hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I will see you there. Thanks again, and have a fantastic day.
You've been listening to the Online Success Podcast with Michael Brown. Here's to your success.